car was supposed to leave 18 minutes ago.
Oh. So you're going to Japan for real, for real?
Don't drop the location.
So, what's out there? What's out there? What's out there?
Hey,
I wanted to share something. After a long time of carrying this with me. My name is Shoshana Strog. I went through sexual abuse in my childhood by both of my parents. The sexual abuse was filmed, which means it was used for child pornography. Recently, a number of memories came back to me of the assault itself. I understood that it was probably also a ritual abuse. I contacted a woman on Facebook who tells a lot about ritual abuse that she also went through, and she referred me to someone named Nama Goldberg. Nama Goldberg, in fact, she told me that. She has a lot of information about ritual abuse. It took me a few days to contact Nama Goldberg, and when I contacted her, she was immediately available in an instant, and it seemed like she had been waiting on me to contact. And she actually sent me some kind of article that had just been published. I wasn't able to read the article to begin with, because of course it scared me very, very much. Actually, I won't tell you all the details, but what happened in my interaction with Nama Goldberg, it is that she actually hinted to me quite clearly, as it were, as if she was supporting me. But I actually realized that they have all of these pornographic videos. Nama literally said that she could ask someone to get these videos, which means that she has a direct connection to the person who has all this information. And it kind of scared me, and she threatened me that these videos can be published. And then I realized that this was a much, much more organized crime. I was also sexually abused as a child, but also actually, apparently, that I'm currently under threat from larger criminal figures. I feel threatened. I filed a complaint with the police about my parents before I left the country. Now I returned to Israel in panic because I realized that I was actually threatened by criminal figures. I asked Israel police to protect me both from these criminal figures and from my family. I would be happy for the public's help in spreading this to every possible party. And, of course, I will contact the police directly later day. Of course, this is very important. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate the help in this regard.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real. Sometimes it's underground. And then these are rituals, meaning it happens on a regular basis. So whether it's once a week, once a month, but it happens regularly for years and years and years.
Shoshana Strug, the daughter of Israeli Minister Orit Strug, has been found dead. The 34-year-old was found dead at her home in northern Israel. The circumstances of her death remain unclear, and the police have opened an investigation into the case. But a small protest took place in Jerusalem after her death because of her shocking history. Since last year, Shoshana had been accusing her own parents of sexually abusing her and forcing her to take part in sexual abuse rituals. She accused her mother, the Israeli settlements minister, of taking her to what she called pedophile ceremonies. From the age of only 2.5, Shoshana Strug had put up multiple social media posts and testimonies about the abuse. She had also filed a police complaint. The Israeli police have said that they were unable to verify any of Shoshana Struk's claims, but the details of their investigation is still unclear. What's more, an Israeli court had issued a gag order on the investigation, which prevented Israeli media from publishing details about the case.
Minister's daughter found dead after accusing parents of abuse. What's the story? The death of Shoshana Struk, the 34-year-old daughter of Israeli settlement minister Orit Struk, has sparked widespread controversy across Israel, particularly in light of serious allegations she previously made against her parents. According to Israeli media reports, Shoshana was found dead inside her home, prompting authorities to launch an investigation into the circumstances surrounding her death. No official cause of death has been confirmed so far. Her mother, Minister Orit Struk, publicly mourned her daughter in a post on social media, expressing deep sorrow over the loss. However, the case quickly moved beyond a personal tragedy and into the public spotlight due to Shoshana's past statements.
Looking with lust is not a sin in Judaism.
What's the stance on pornography?
So pornography, when I'm asked this question...
Just to put you on the spot.
You did indeed. Okay, so my answer, when it's raised on my radio show, I have a male-female hour, and I'm very open about sexual subjects. I always ask if a wife calls me and says, my husband looks at pornography, I found on his computer, I have one question. How is your life of intimacy with your husband? Is it good? In other words, is the pornography in lieu of you or in addition to you? Mm-hmm. And I know this is not a religious answer, and mm-hmm. I'm not even giving a religious answer. I'm giving mm-hmm. what I think is a moral and realistic answer. Men want variety. And if adultery is a substitute for, if pornography is a substitute for one's wife, it's awful. If it's a substitute for adultery, it's not awful. That is my unpredictable answer.
Well, there is a clinical rule of thumb that's akin to that, I would say. If you're trying to decide clinically whether someone's partaking in a habit, say use of alcohol, has reached the threshold of clinical significance, one of the things you do is ask the person you're assessing, now, is it interfering with your employment? Has it got you in trouble with the law? Is your family complaining? Does it stop you from doing other things that you should be doing? And so the judgment isn't the use of the forbidden substance itself. It is in some sense consequentialist. And I'm not saying that that's an absolute, but it is a hallmark of clinical judgment.
As a child, my next guest was used also in worshiping the devil, participated in human sacrifice rituals and cannibalism. She says her family has been involved in rituals for generations. She is currently in extensive therapy, suffers from multiple personality disorder, meaning she's blocked out many of the terrifying and painful memories of her childhood. Meet Rachel, who is also in disguise to protect her identity. My next guest treats ritually abused children in her therapist practice. She feels that the problem is much more widespread than any of us can imagine. Says there's no doubt in her mind that the children and adults that she treats are telling the truth. Tina Grossman, we're glad to have all of you join us here on the show. You come from generations of ritualistic abuse?
Yes, my family has an extensive family tree, and they keep track of who's been involved and who hasn't been involved. And it's gone back to like 1700.
And so you were ritually abused.
I was born into a family that believes in this.
And does everyone else think it's a nice Jewish family? From the outside, you appear to be a nice Jewish girl.
Definitely.
And you all are worshiping the devil inside the home?
Right. There's other Jewish families across the country. It's not just my own family.
Really? And so who knows about it? Lots of people now.
I talked to a police detective in the Chicago area, and several of my friends know, and I've spoke publicly before. And
so when you were brought up in this kind of evilness, did you just think it was normal?
I blocked out a lot of the memories I had because of my multiple personality disorder. But yes, I mean, it's like if you grow up with something, you think it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought
So what
something-
kinds of things? You don't have to give us the gory details, but what kinds of things went on in the family?
Well, there would be rituals in which babies would be sacrificed, and you would have to,
Whose babies?
There were people who bred babies in our family. No one would know about it. A lot of people were overweight, so you couldn't tell if they were pregnant or not. Or they would supposedly go away for a while and then come back.
Now, you were telling us earlier that the practice with the Kilroy death was a religion called
Palamayombe, which not all people who practice Palamayombe obviously sacrifice. I think what we're looking at is a worship of evil here.
Right.
Taking normal or standard religions and perverting them to the worship of evil.
Right. And I just want to emphasize that you don't have to be Caribbean to do it.
No.
Yes. The other thing I want to point out, not all Jewish people sacrifice babies. I mean, that's not a very
think we kind of know
thing.
that.
I just want to point that out.
This is the first time I heard of any Jewish people sacrificing babies.
Looking with lust is not a sin in Judaism.
What's the stance on pornography?
So pornography, when I'm asked this question...
Just to put you on the spot.
You did indeed. Okay, so my answer, when it's raised on my radio show, I have a male-female hour, and I'm very open about sexual subjects. I always ask if a wife calls me and says, my husband looks at pornography, I found on his computer, I have one question. How is your life of intimacy with your husband? Is it good? In other words, is the pornography in lieu of you or in addition to you? And I know this is not a religious answer, and I'm not even giving a religious answer. I'm giving what I think is a moral and realistic answer. Men want variety. And if adultery is a substitute for, if pornography is a substitute for one's wife, it's awful. If it's a substitute for adultery, it's not awful. That is my unpredictable answer.
Well, there is a clinical rule of thumb that's akin to that, I would say. If you're trying to decide clinically whether someone's partaking in a habit, say use of alcohol, has reached the threshold of clinical significance, one of the things you do is ask the person you're assessing, is it interfering with your employment? Has it got you in trouble with the law? Is your family complaining? Does it stop you from doing other things that you should be doing? And so the judgment isn't the use of the forbidden substance itself. It is in some sense consequentialist. And I'm not saying that that's an absolute, but it is a hallmark of clinical judgment.
My name is Anya Wick, but at birth, I was Anya Beth Epstein. I was born in a house in Boulder. In 2015, I changed my name to Owen Theodore Epstein. In 2020, I changed it again to Anna Petrova. I had realized what I was surrounded by my entire life and thought I could hide from it. And I married a man named Wick, kept that name, and decided to start going public with my story just a few months ago. I had chemically driven amnesia the majority of my life. I am Jeff Epstein's niece, and I was raised as a sex slave.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real.
My father had me separated from my mother and twin brother and administered a substance that was designed to sever my memory. And administered a substance. And administered a substance.
And administered a substance.
And administered a substance that was designed to sever my memory.
Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. This is the way a Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and apologize. You think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house?
But very few people took that claim seriously. In fact, it was exactly the kind of thing a crazy person would say. My trainer drugged me into submission. He's trying to make me into a zombie. Right. Sure he did. Have another olanzapine shot, Kanye. You look tired. So that's where the story stood until the other day. Nobody believed Kanye West. Then West posted something remarkable on Twitter, which for some reason virtually all of American media ignored, which is odd because media outlets are not usually in the business of ignoring remarkable things, but they did. And what he posted was a picture of a text exchange that he had had with Harley Pasternak. Pasternak was explaining that West had better stop saying, quote, crazy stuff. In other words, he'd better get back on script, or else he would be severely punished. Quote, second option, if you don't shut up, quote, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same.
And administered a substance that was designed to sever my memory.
Try if you can to imagine a more sinister threat than that, a more chilling threat than that. Do what I say or I will turn your brain to mush. I will destroy your relationship with your own children. I will send you back to, quote, zombie land forever. Effectively, I'll kill you. Now keep in mind, this is from West's, quote, trainer, not his physician. This is the guy he'd hired to help him do squats. A trainer? Really? Do they talk like that at your gym? Probably not. So what's going on here exactly? Well, according to his bio, Harley Pasternak, who is not denied writing these texts, once worked for the Canadian military, where he participated in experiments that measured the effect of various drugs on the human mind. Is that training relevant to this story? We don't know. We do know that based on this text exchange, which again, Harley Pasternak has not said is untrue or fake, on the basis of that, law enforcement agencies definitely ought to be looking very closely at Harley Pasternak, who, by the way, apparently has dozens of other celebrity clients, some of whom seem to be out there campaigning. Based on these texts, this looks like a crime. Why is no one investigating it? The fact that no one is investigating it tells you a lot.
We tried to figure out, how did the Communist Chinese get them to make those false confessions? So we're the good guys, and we're only doing that defensively.
Project Bluebird was signed into operation in April 1950 by the director of the CIA, 3 months before the Korean War started. And then it ran for a few years, and then it was rolled over into Artichoke. So Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke are really kind of the same thing. The Artichoke team did interrogations on US soil using the so-called artichoke technique. And the artichoke technique involved IV alcohol and drugs, interrogations, safe houses, a variety of different techniques. And the purpose was to try and extract information from a foreign person that was being interrogated. And it also describes erasing memories and implanting false memories that will act as a cover for what really happened.
Someone texted him, I think his manager or something, like, yo, if you feel unsafe, go to the hotel. He basically hits me, he says, yo, they're trying to put me in the hospital, they're trying to kill me, and I have to get out of here and I have to get to Japan. He says, yo, they're trying to put me in the hospital, they're trying to kill me, and I have to get out of here and I have to get to Japan. He says, yo, they're trying to put me in the hospital, they're trying to kill me, and I have to get out of here and I have to get to Japan.
I have to get out of here and I have to get to Japan.
I have to get out of here and I have to get to Japan. Apparently, Japan, China is the only place where this guy feels safe.
So this guy comes in, he thinks that he's being sent to Tokyo on a routine, unclassified courier assignment.
Yeah. Sorry, I was supposed to leave 18 minutes ago.
Oh. So you're going to Japan for real, for real?
Don't drop the location.
What's out there?
So this guy comes in, he thinks that he's being sent to Tokyo on a routine, unclassified courier assignment. He's given the assignment, and then the military guy in Washington goes, the moon is clear. Jones B comes out, the military guy in Washington gives him the classified information, flips him back to his regular self, he flies over to Tokyo. The colonel at the far end says, oh, hi, nice to meet you, thank you. That's the above board assignment. The guy at the far end says the moon is clear. Out comes Jones B, gives him the information, the response is inserted, back he goes. And he describes these guys having complete amnesia for the operation.
So you just came from Paris Fashion Week, you just landed, and the lanyard's still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that, and that you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
And then after talking to them and really sitting with Jared and sitting with Josh and finding out other pieces of information, I was like, wow, these guys might have really been holding Trump back and being very much a handler right then. They love to just look at me or look at Trump like we're so crazy and that they're the businessmen. So when I think about all of these things that Jared, somehow doesn't get enough credit for with his work. And what is it? His work in Israel or his work in Palestine? What is this? You know where he made these peace treaties? Where was that? Do you know the facts on this right here? So I'm like...
I think that was between Israel and some of the Arab nations.
I just think it was to make money. I don't know. Is that too heavy-handed to put in this platform?
No, that's your opinion. We're not in the censorship business.
Okay, thank you. And I just think that that's what they're about, is making money. I don't think that they have the ability to make anything on their own. I think they were born into money.
Yeah, that's not shallow. And it's also not crazy. It's true, whether you agree with it or not.
A funny story, actually, about that DEFCON 3 tweet. I don't know what happened. I don't even know what time of night it was that inspired him to put out that tweet. What I can tell you is that tweet cost me many millions of dollars, okay? I was not with Kanye when he tweeted it. I did not retweet Kanye. I did not did not push a like when Kanye tweeted it. But I sure as hell got peer pressured and employer pressured to put out a statement against Kanye. It's not, just in retrospect, it's amazing because it's like, how about you put out a statement against Bibi Netanyahu? I don't know. He's like a stone cold killer. He's mass murdering children. How about you put out an effing statement against Bibi Netanyahu? But no, the pressure came in and I had just signed a larger deal with the Daily Wire for years. And I got brought into a conference room. The entire world condemned Kanye West. The entire world. I mean, it felt like the entire world. He lost his Adidas contract. He lost his Gap contract. That wasn't enough because they wanted me to do it.
I want to start with Ye, Kanye West. I've got to say, personally, I know that you've had a good relationship with him. You've talked to him and so on, as I have done. I interviewed him, tried to give him a bit of benefit of the doubt over various things. I got to say, his sort of brazen stuff now on a daily, sometimes minute-by-minute basis on X with the swastikas, the Nazis, and so on. I just find it utterly repellent. Has anything he's been doing in the last 2-3 weeks changed your mind about what's going on here with him?
Okay, so first I just want to say that I definitely told your producers that I didn't want to speak about Ye, but it's totally fine if you want to ask me the question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Well, that wasn't communicated to me, but if you don't mind, I'd just be curious about your view.
Yeah, sure. So my view has been pretty consistent in that when you have a real relationship with someone, you shouldn't be lashing them in the public for anything. There's something about the entire world having commentary about Kanye when he tweets, and that exact same part of the world telling us that we have to remain mum when Bibi Netanyahu literally goes DEFCON 3, but Kanye tweets something about DEFCON 3. That just makes me uncomfortable and feels really disingenuous. And like I said, when you have an actual relationship with someone, if you have anything to say to them, you should say that to that person directly. And so I'm just not going to partake in this sort of like Judas culture of stabbing people in the front when you have a real relationship with them. And I've maintained that consistently, and I'm not going to break that code today.
I mean, some would say, I mean, look, I just want to play this clip and get your response to this. I mean, this is him doing, you know, Ku Klux Klan imagery with swastikas and so on. It's so brazen. It's so taunting. And you talk about people who are directly attacking people. He's directly attacking Jewish people when he does this and making them feel extremely uncomfortable, extremely threatened by this, because he's got 32 million people following him on X alone. You know, his social media firepower to galvanize hate against the Jewish people is being laid bare, isn't it, in real time?
Just a question for you. When you saw the Klansman hoodie, why did you say taunting against Jewish people but didn't mention anything about Black people? Yeah, but it's just interesting that of the two things you chose to lean into Jewish people and not to speak about what the Klansman hood represents, right? Because there's an element, if you're about sadistic, it's not enough to have your wife, your in-laws, your friends, your former friends, people that you've done music with, people that you've helped up, the whole world come out and condemn.
Kanye ain't got one auntie or cousin. Cousins and aunties don't cost no money. They just there to help you stay on track. Like everybody, no matter how much money you need that one person at the bottom of the stairs that tell you something. Like Kanye coming down the stairs, yay, what you got on? Huh? You're not gonna wear that Spider-Man today. Go back upstairs and put on something else. I wanna be Spider-Man. No, yay, go upstairs now and try something else. Next day he come downstairs. Yay, what you got on? Why you got on a black Klansman? What? Go upstairs.
Kanye, Kanye, Kanye. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, a black Klansman outfit. That's what we doing now? Is this a Klansman outfit courtesy of Balenciaga? I don't know, because you always wear designer. Is it Balenciaga? Huh? Is it Clan Couture? Is that gonna be in the new fashion week in September? Clan Couture by Kanye? Oh man, I know you've seen the interview. I don't know, DJ Academics, who's also crazy. This is the first time I've seen him kind of shocked. He goes, I thought I was crazy, but damn, a black Klansman outfit. And he's going off, and you know, Kanye's going off on everybody. You know, I just thought it was hilarious that he was going off on Jay-Z and all kinds of other black people with his Klan's outfit on.
Friends, your former friends, people that you've done music with, people that you've helped up, the whole world come out and condemn you. It's not enough to take the money away from you. We're gonna need Candace Owens to do it too. And I said no. I said no. I said I'm not going to come out and condemn Kanye because I wasn't there, I didn't do anything, and I don't think that's necessary. I think he's going through enough. He's my friend. That's what I said. Then I got yelled at and voices were raised. It was like, why won't you just make a statement to make it easy for us to say something against Kanye, this relationship, blah, 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 blah. And I said no. And they said, okay, well then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change the contract. And instead of being paid X amount of years, you are going to only get this. Are you willing to do that? I said, yeah, I'm willing to lose the money. Take the money, obviously, because he's my friend. And I will never forget the words that I said in that conference room to Jeremy Boring, because it's so true today, and I feel so good about myself that I cannot be purchased. I said, most of the world considers me to be a formidable enemy, but actually, the reality is I'm a very formidable friend. And that's how I'd like to be remembered, as a formidable friend. And I said, one day you might need me as a formidable friend. And that was that. And you know what? Fast forward, and it looks like the person who actually is needing me as a formidable friend is Charlie Kirk. And I am a formidable friend, and he knew I was a formidable friend, and they are learning that lesson. And I am deadly serious on that topic of defending my friends, their honor. If they're going through something, if I have something to say to Kanye, okay, it's not Judas culture. I don't just hang him out to dry because everybody else is doing it and it's fashionable. And you can't tempt people with millions to do something like that. That's despicable. That's despicable.
And I was raised as a sex slave. My father had me separated from my mother and twin brother and administered a substance that was designed to sever my memory. Every time I was taken to or family vacation or trip to the cabin in the mountains, I was given this drug, upon which everything would come flooding back. But when it wore off, so would the majority of my memories of it. And I would try to go to school, perform with my bands, be a regular person. But it broke me subconsciously. I knew something was very wrong, and I had internalized it on myself. And after an attempt in 2015, I got away from the slavery I was in by taking testosterone, transitioning to male. I left Colorado in 2017 and started piecing together back memories I had assumed were only nightmares in about 2020.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location, and sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real.
I think it was David Icke who woke me up to the ancient cults and the bloodlines that continued to these generations. And I think you're the first survivor, perhaps, who's actually detailed how that has continued over the ages. So if you could maybe expand on that a little bit, I think the viewers would find this fascinating.
What specifically would you like expanded on?
So what was the cult that you mentioned earlier, the ancient one?
The cult of Baal, B-A-L.
Yes.
B-A-L.
Yep.
I know very little about it. My family masqueraded themselves as Jewish publicly. But behind closed doors, at Passover dinners, when I was drugged, would admit, we are Satanists.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.